The particular brief was Reconnecting East, which was all about trying to work out how the city could increase its connections to and through this East Perth neighbourhood, which is really at the moment quite sort of segregated from the city, and also in particular to look at the way this East Perth neighbourhood relates to particularly some of the tunnel and rail corridors that sit to the north, and how you might also increase the connections across that infrastructure. So it was really trying to basically integrate old traditional East Perth back into a broader city experience. The temptation, I suppose, with a lot of these design competitions and big master planning exercises is there is just the big grand plan that either lacks a bit of that soul and character and or just economically isn't realistic. And I think that was sort of borne out through the process, because we had set out to create something inspirational of the place but also financially realistic, and it was interesting that it was one of the 3 shortlisted projects that came out at the end of those 10 entries. We were one of 10 firms that were asked to contribute. There were a number of projects that the city itself actually had going at the same time, and there were some student entries, so I think in the end there were around 15 or 16 entries into the ideas competition as such. There were 3 projects that were shortlisted by the city of being of interest, one of which was ours, and we've since been the only project to progress to a second stage of investigation that we're doing at the moment. So again, we're sort of delighted that we sort of set out to do something that was inspirational but also practical, and that's sort of been borne out by the fact that it is the only project that's sort of progressing to that second stage and now actually looking at what the long-term reality of actually implementing that project might be. We were just so delighted to be able to do the East Perth project in particular, because again it is our sort of our own hood or neighbourhood, and we moved here 6 or 7 years ago to really be a part of the regeneration of East Perth. So to be able to effectively think about the second generation of that rejuvenation of East Perth and how it might further strengthen its connections back to the city were, it was just fantastic to be a part of. We love that creative process, but we love even more the idea that it's going to lead to an actual change. So the fact that it was the only project to progress to a stage 2 commission, and that we're actually in the middle of that commission at the moment looking at how we might actually get the project on the ground, is really what it's all about for us.